It's yet again another exciting episode of the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel Uganda. We're excited to have you here with us, and thank you so much for always choosing Hope Channel Uganda and the Youth Voice Show. Now, tonight we are discussing dressing for church. The old people are complaining that the young people are dressing poorly for church. The young people are saying the old people are old-fashioned and they don't know what is current. So they're always at loggerheads and perhaps in the church spaces and something like that. So tonight we want to have a better understanding. Are there standards anywhere? Is dressing for church subjective? Do we dress the way we want? Is it true that God indeed always sees the heart, so outwardly we can be any way that we want? That's what we're going to be looking at tonight. And hosting this conversation, my name is Edison Masereka. And I have a very interesting panel of young people who are not new to this show, and they're going to help us unpack this conversation. On my very extreme right, over the other side, I have Council Ruth Nakamia.
Hi.
You are welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, and you are looking smart.
And beautiful.
And I love the black.
Thank you.
Yes, and then we are
Judge
having...
girl.
Yes, we are having
is
Council Onesmus Akankwata. And for his very first time on this show, he has put on a necktie.
Dress for church, and then making.
Yes. I think that's quite symbolic and that's good. Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
then finally, we have Miss Angela Muduvira here. You're welcome back.
Thank you, Edison.
Yes.
Church choir leader.
Yes. So, guys, is this an issue?
A serious issue. Because I was trying to begin with an example that many of you, I think, know. A young girl came dressing poorly, and she told one of the pastors there that, now let them see from us in church. Let them see how brown thighs look like instead of going outside. Let them
Brown
look.
thighs of
So
a
it's
Christian
something
sister.
serious that needs to be discussed.
But also, when you say dressed poorly, in this generation, what does dressing poorly look like? So what were your standards for you to judge that this person was dressed poorly? After Sabbath, people post pictures, Sabbath pictures. I was going through statuses and I saw a dear friend of ours, if I shared, you would know. I was like, this is how this person dressed for church. So in my view, they were indecent for church. But probably in their view, by the time they wore it,
and even post
was okay.
So is it subjective or there is a standard?
I think for us as Christians, and to be specific, as Seventh-day Adventists, there is a standard
Okay.
that we need to uphold. Yeah.
So why is it that this conversation always tends to lean towards the ladies?
Well, about that issue, why it tends to lean to the ladies, because I don't know, for the men it is quite obvious. Like, it is so hard for a man to come when they have exposed maybe their chest. Like, it is weird for them. But for the ladies, remember, as ladies are people that love drawing people's attention to themselves. So when someone feels like there is nothing else they can do to draw people's attention to them, they are going to choose the dress code. They're going to be, maybe if I have at least a skirt with a slit, maybe somehow, somewhere, this guy will see and be like, okay, so this girl has something that I maybe want. And for the ladies, it has become a very big problem, and it is still a big problem in our churches because of how we want to be seen. How you want everyone to notice you when you enter somewhere, you know. A girl enters church and she is putting on a dress that is short or a skirt or something, but still, mumaso watava. She wants to sit in front with her heels, you know. She wants everyone to say, you know, I've come, I'm here. Because there is nothing else she feels exactly.
Yeah.
So, Onesmus,
Yes.
somehow the sisters are doing this for us. Very tight and very short, skimpy. Is that what you want to see when you go to church?
One, I was
Please be honest.
I was speaking with two angles. Truthfully, ladies who dress short dresses are eye-catching. You'd also love to see what is there.
At church?
At church plain, that's the plain truth. And they're walking, and someone should draw attention with that kind of dressing and the rest. Unlike this Jaja Ellen White, who is putting on a long attire. She'll go like...
She'll go unnoticed.
But the one who is dressing short clothes will be noticed. But on the other hand, it's something that will bring a bad reputation in our minds. Actually, many of us sensible men will never,
Ruth, have you heard that?
Because sensible man.
never
dressing.
go for a woman who is dressing that way. I'm looking at Muchala Cancer. They say, what? You're like, dressed that way and representing me, my children,
When they
and
see you,
the
they
entire
see
family.
the husband.
But
No.
maybe, okay, I don't know. I never dress for any man, really. But generally, as we are dressing,
Apart from the man Jesus.
I'm talking about earthly men. Please leave Jesus. But generally, everyone, all genders, as we are dressing up, number one, when you're dressing, when you're choosing what you're putting on for church, for work, for whatsoever, one, you're representing yourself. Before you speak, whatever you're putting on is saying a lot about
about
you.
who you are.
Dress how you want to be addressed.
Exactly. People are going to, if you dress in damaged clothes and what, people are going to think you're mad. Really. Because which people put on damaged clothes, like, it is the mad people. You'll never find a mad person with neatly sewn clothes and all. Their clothes will be damaged. And you, a whole sensible human being, you're dressed in damaged clothes. So as you're dressing up, just be informed that that is how people are going to address you. The moment they see you, whatever you've put on your body is going to say a lot about you. And this goes not just the clothes, but right from the hair, the shoes, the perfume you're wearing, the accessory you've choose to attach to your body. It's going to say a lot about you. And even when you're not Adventist, we have our sisters that are still leaning towards wearing earrings and jewelry and all that. That kind of jewelry you've decided to put on your body.
Communicates about you.
Yes, communicates a lot about you. Number two, whatever you're putting on is going to say a lot about where you're coming from.
Very true.
You realize when someone is not well put together in terms of dress code, we are going to presume they're disorganized, like by the time you're showing up like that.
In public,
or
what happens?
you get?
Worker.
So you're already saying a lot about where you're coming from, about maybe your family, what your relatives look like. Someone told my niece, how come you're disorganized? No one from your family is disorganized. For you, why are you like that? You get? But she's just a little girl, and kids are just messy. But it was already communicating something. Like, I know your family for being this, and for you showing
Why
up
are you
as
like
this.
that?
So when you're showing up, you're already communicating. So sometimes the men are not drawn away from us because we're probably dressed in skimpy clothes. But it's already saying a lot about where we're coming from. So if this man is looking for value, he's sure. Now that value doesn't lie.
Well, someone
on that. Sorry.
It's okay.
I also think it communicates where you're going.
Exactly. Yeah, surely. If you're dressed in a skimpy something, we are going to presume even where you're coming from still. Like, why are you dressed in something very short, 8 a.m., Monday morning? How was your weekend?
Shorts, revealing,
Yeah.
very tight.
Yeah.
Those are some of the common
So I think we
aspects.
need to look at that. Even as you're dressing for church, we want to, by the time I am seeing you, can I tell
that
this
you're going
person
to
is
church.
going to church?
And,
Yeah.
and in an age where we don't carry Bibles,
Exactly. People,
It is
are
hard.
digital.
people can't know you're going to church unless you've told them. You're taking a judge in the morning and the guy has no idea that you're going to church.
Yeah.
Till it dawns on him that he's parking on a signpost and like, anyway.
Yes. So we had talked about gentlemen, and I wanted to ask, is it that society does not care how men dress? And that's why so much it's always on the ladies.
Well, I would say yes and no. Why? Yes, you find that we have very, very organized young girls. Like you see, when they take time and notice at church, I took time personally. I sat down and analyzed the kids that come to church. You see the girls, they even struggle and put on body stockings, some closed shoes, and then you see the boys, the way they are coming to church, in t-shirts, in Crocs. And somewhere I was.
Crocs,
and can I be open? Can I speak?
Yes, please. You're protected.
Exactly. I'm protected. Onesimus is not going to hit me. Okay. So there's somewhere I was, and it really, I felt bad. Like the girls, the women, they were not girls, ladies. So smart. You wake up, you put on closed shoes, you comb your hair, you iron, you get a belt, and then you're seated in the same room with someone that is putting on a short, some funny t-shirt that is not even ironed, with Crocs the entire week, in, day out, and that is how you are dressed. And how we dress, by the way, matters a lot. Because, I mean, so what if you're walking? Me, what comes to my mind, what if they tell you, no, there is an emergency, first come here, and then you're putting on Crocs? People have normalized Crocs.
I tell you,
But also Crocs are
there's this
expensive,
weird
don't know for
thought I
church.
have, like whenever I'm going out,
Expensive in your home.
like I think there are around three weird thoughts or principles that mainly guide me. Number one, what if I get an accident and I can't help myself, and that's how is that how I want to be seen, in that helpless state? Number two, what if I meet someone I like or I crush on? Is that how I want them to see me? Number three, what if I meet a prospective employer or a funder? Is that how I want them to see me? Okay. But also we're talking about men, and before I bring in Onesimus, some of my main observations about guys, it's mainly always color mismatch and being out of fashion.
But then also, maybe, just to interject a bit, on that point, when you talked about society seemingly holding ladies on a higher pedestal, to me, there's, I don't know if it was a song, but it has a line that says, when you educate a boy, you're educating an individual. But when you're educating a girl, you're educating a whole nation. Yeah? So I feel like it is so right for society to uphold ladies on a higher pedestal.
Because they raise
because
the
you're
men.
going to raise the men.
Yeah,
if the kind of man you want to see, now, the kind of man I want to see in years to come, I am supposed to groom. You get my point? So meaning, if we want to see a generation of young men that are dressed decently for church, because there is indecent dressing for men that is not appropriate for church.
True.
So if I want to see a young man in the future, then I am supposed to nurture that man. Meaning I have to adhere to whatever they're telling me. As a girl, you need to be kempt, you need to be well put together, smell nice, things like that, such that I can impart the same knowledge to the next generation.
Yeah, so you have mainly men. I think it's disorganization in colors. Maybe t-shirts mainly. Fine, they will do
Jeans.
They will do GYD every Sabbath and.
But also even do GYD.
Do your
It's not a
GYD.
problem, but yes. Yeah, I think it's mainly t-shirts for church, and then color mismatch. Find someone very shouting colors.
But also the way we dress as
yes,
men.
but also
You go to churches and find a man putting on a long coat with now women love calling this a chikola, with a big chikola necktie like this, and a big trousers, and you're like, oh God, which kind of fashion is this?
And then Onesimus, what do I want to say? We have this class of disorganized men. And say, but I'm single,
That come
what do
with
you say about
unkempt hair.
that? And then we have this savior mindset, and you look forward to that time when you get a very organized lady and she'll put you back to order. What do you say about that?
I'll first begin by giving an example. One day I visited an association, and I reached that around 9:40. It was kind of far. Reaching there, I found them in a song service. And a gentleman was choristering, was putting on a damaged jean, and he's choristering with sneakers and a t-shirt with Lily Wine, this artist.
Ooh.
So I had to inquire. I knew the songs they were singing. At least I could relate the songs. I saw one with the lesson book, and I knew I was in the
You're
right
in
place.
the right place, yes.
But when I saw the person choristering, the damage, the T-shirt of Lily Wine with these bling
Took
blings
you aback.
they love putting here, and I saw the guy. I'm like, is this the chorister? Or immediately, I had to look for the president of the association. Now, unfortunately, he had never seen me. He didn't know who I am, and then after introducing, like, hey, you're the one whom I've been speaking with on phone.
Yes.
You from CIS and the rest? I'm like, yes. So I had to ask the gentleman, what's that boy doing on the pulpit choristering? He's a chorister. You see, the Bible says in Colossians chapter 2, verse 16, I don't know if you guys have read that verse. The verse says, let no one judge you of what you eat, of what you drink,
Yes, don't
of
use
what you
scripture
put
to
on.
defend yourself.
Of what you put on. Now,
defend
that part of what you put on is something they're emphasizing. Him putting on damage and a T-shirt is something you shouldn't judge and look up. After all, God looks at the inner
At
word,
the
part
inner
of it. But a gentleman who dresses such way and you don't give yourself value, a sensible man out there in church will never see a potential husband in you. Never. And women out there, if you think a man will change, you've seen him dressing that way, and you think he's going to change for you.
Actually, someone
He'll
once
never change.
once told me that dress like the person you want to be, not like the person you are.
Yes.
Nice dressing
Yeah,
adds
because
value on you.
You're going to attract people who are like you.
Yes.
True.
Like the way you're dressed is going to attract
Value
a certain
attracts
class
value.
of people to you. So,
Class attracts class.
yeah.
A good dress code, whether you have money or not, dress well. Just dress well. People respect you.
Men understood that
and also
assignment.
dressing well. I want our young people to understand that dressing well doesn't have to be expensive clothes. It doesn't have to be many
latest.
clothes. And avoid trends, really. You're going to buy that Gucci shirt, and
Before you know
the
it.
Gucci thing will be faced out.
Here, Gucci
Now you're
shirt.
wearing things we don't
Am I
understand.
the only one who does not buy branded things?
I don't know.
I don't
too
like
don't
brand.
buy
I don't like branded things.
But also speaking on trends, there's something that I don't know whether I'm outdated, but you guide me. There is something in our youth there in church that I hate with passion. I hate seeing a gentleman coming to church in shoes and stockings, and the shirt is kind of not even reaching the
Mutemba.
shoe.
Please stop those things.
And people are like, this is the trend. I don't know if I'm outdated. I don't know if it's when you're a victim of that.
Nah.
But also
But,
our profession.
But I really
Why
hate
you
it so
coming
much.
to church
How can you
without
come to church and stockings?
Yeah.
Put on
And you're like, it's the fashion,
gentlemen.
really? You men out there, please, youths.
But at least they should not
Did
be
you say
green.
more?
No, but also
Not green.
I really want to speak to our young people. You don't need to have many clothes to be smart.
True.
You don't need to have expensive clothes to be
be
smart
smart.
for church. But the very few clothes that you have,
Take care of
you
them.
can take care of them. Iron your clothes.
And choose them
There is a reason
carefully.
as to why the Lord gave us Friday
Yes.
as preparation day. Prepare for the Sabbath.
True.
Iron that one shirt that you have. Iron that one coat that you have. Keep those shoes polished. Prepare the stockings. And something for the men, something I came to learn, really. Is it the shoes and the belt
Must match. in
must
colour.
match?
Yes.
Do not be there putting
That's
on
an
a black
unwritten
belt,
rule. And
brown shoes. Please watch
Now
out.
that's why we need to
I
marry.
but you see, I am
Save
not
us country
married.
led.
No.
Unless you're a woman.
Let me tell you,
Where do you have a brown
I didn't
belt?
learn this from a married man.
Exactly.
No, I learned it from a
Onesmus.
friend who was single.
I am quite careful at my workplace, and people at some point people are like, I think maybe you've gotten someone who organizes you. But I'm
Okukuta,
telling
eh?
you, like, there's no magic in marriage. I
Yeah.
mean, marriage, I want to wake up one morning and marriage has given me everything I never practiced. Yes. I mean, as a gentleman, there are unwritten rules about dressing that you
You
have
must
to
be
know.
complete.
That
for
you will not
something
have to put on this
you.
color of a shirt, this color of a necktie. That you don't have to, just to be, those are things we have to be knowing.
Do the
We
bare
have to be knowing,
minimum. Yeah.
Yes. And sometimes I see men even who are married and I'm like, but when he walked out of this house.
No one told you anything.
What's that?
By the way, your eyes are supposed to be like the mirror.
Yes.
You know?
yes.
By the time you move out,
Yeah,
the whole church is like,
yeah, by the way, I would also encourage gentlemen to have mirrors in their rooms, please. Before you go out.
But also even
But it's a bit
when
feminine in nature.
I know it's not. It's not. Really, it's not. But also, I think now we might be speaking to our viewers who are not married,
Yes.
but you're dating. Yeah, I think I find it so appropriate if I'm dating someone, and I get to know like what are you
they're
going to look
put
like
on.
for church. I get disturbed by gentlemen who know that maybe next Sabbath is Women's Sabbath. For heavenly sake, everyone knows women are putting on blue. Then you're showing up in a pink shirt. Did your girlfriend inform you that at their church maybe there is Women's Sabbath or something? Like, to me, I feel like stay informed.
That is dressing to the occasion, right?
Yes, but be informed about what's going on.
Exactly.
Not just show up.
Yes, and I think that's different from trends. You're dressing to occasion, but not really following the trend.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
this is where I am going. And this is how I should be.
Yeah.
I am not going to show up because I should be a gentleman. I show up with my jacket and a necktie, and it's an informal gathering or
Occasion,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yes, you're overly smart for the wrong occasion. Yes.
But it's okay to be overly smart.
But also something that is
It's
is
okay.
trending up today is gentlemen love moving to different churches. Let me say I'm from Stillwater in Entebbe. I choose to go to, she's from Chirombe SDA, just to meet Angel because Angel is my crush. And many people love doing that. So I choose to spend a Sabbath with my crush. But the way I dress up to go to her, and actually, men out there, stop this issue of meeting your girls at churches.
Organized settings outside church.
Now, after church, you
church
meet
be
on the veranda, you just, and the date is done.
People are going back for afternoon service.
So you want to sit outside.
The people is shouting at you.
But even your dress code,
Yes.
coming to meet your crush at
just have
Chirombe's
to
DA,
shout
is a
at
turn
you.
off for her.
Yes.
She's not even
we have
proud
to
of
organize-
you. She's not even proud of you.
And these days, churches are streaming. Please, if you want to see them, watch the stream and. Interesting. Yes. Before we go for the break, is dress relative or subjective, or is there a standard? And is God silent about this, or does He give us what to do?
God has never been silent.
The Bible has everything.
And she didn't compromise to
Yeah.
anything.
Hello.
It gives us the Bible does not dictate what we should put on, but it sets principles, the
Guiding
guidelines. Like
principles.
as you're choosing your
Your dress
outfit, this is the standard you're supposed to follow. So I think that is what the Bible does. And it's because now you get to see that we do certain things because we don't read our Bibles, really. But the Bible, that's why as Adventists, we believe in the Bible alone, and
the whole of it.
The whole of it.
Not
And
just
sometimes
part of
even
it.
after reading and we get to know, we become big-headed and we still refuse
Yeah.
to heed to what we've
But
read.
otherwise, it has everything. that you
Everything is
need.
there for us.
If we choose to compromise, that's why we're going to lose a point. I was with Ruth one day, just a couple of months ago, when we met some people out there they're going to apply for some issues. And
Why is Ruth
Yeah.
scared of what you're going
no.
to say
Because
next?
so I was with Ruth and we met these people. And we were speaking about Adventism. They're like, are you Adventist? So me and Ruth were like, yes. And it was a long discussion. But one thing I want to pick from that incident is people were telling us we can compromise the Sabbath just for something we're going to do, I and her. And we told them, Sabbath is Sabbath.
That's a
We don't
standard.
compromise. God has
That's our
put our
standard.
kind of dress code. Ruth had a verse in 1 Timothy chapter 2, and I think she'll read it later on. But that verse is very, very clear with that dress code. The moment you begin compromising that, kasa ni mchala mukadde. I know of a pastor whose wife is being used as an example. If the shepherdess is dressing that way,
I know pastors like that.
Eh,
You see
then-
what?
Even
you see a post that she
elders.
does in her photo shoots and they are put on social media like,
and youth out there,
doing
youth out there will be like, what I'm saying about Deputy Jesus is doing that. Then me.
Chief of sinners.
Chief of sinners.
Now, this kind of dress code is standard.
See, pastor's wife is
Non-subjective.
taking a picture, and emphasis is on the nyash and
Oh, God.
interesting. But God has not left us to guesswork. He has
True.
given us injunctions in His word.
True.
And I think the problem is that we don't get to read, and so
Yeah.
we just assume. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we are going to discuss more about this, especially on are these things where we talk about in church, or the church just leaves us to guesswork, does not guide young people, and then goes to reprimanding them without guiding them on what to do. We are going to be looking at more of that, but also discussing aspects of is it actually wrong to be fashionable, something like that. Does this mean we should be out of fashion and dress like we are in the 18th century because we are going to church or something like that? So this is the Youth Voice Show, and we take a quick break and we return shortly. Welcome back from that very quick break, and this is the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel, Uganda. And hosting this conversation tonight, my name is Edison Masereka. We are discussing dressing for church, and it was a heated conversation before we went for the break. And I want us to begin on the point of is Christian dressing something that is addressed properly at church level, or the church leadership jumps first to crucifying young people before they are guided on what to do?
Church really addresses this.
Sure.
That I'm sure.
Speak for your church.
For my church.
Exactly.
If you went through Bible study classes, Bible study guide classes, surely you must have gone through dress code.
Onesimus, I did Bible study over 10 years ago.
Wondering which
And I was still a child. That time I was very obedient. I was around 14, 15. Right now I am...
You're now an elder.
You can make your own decision.
But also besides our Christian part of it, the Muslims. I love the way the Muslims are groomed
Oh yes, Bible.
right from childhood. They don't put on short clothes. One day I went to Ruth's university when she was still a student at campus. I reached at the university. I looked at how people are dressing. There's nothing like you seeing any thigh, any leg, any what.
I'll give you a
They
similar
were
experience.
very
The first time
smart.
it's normally like
The first
that
time I
also.
visited
She was
the
like
She's
that.
just changing gear.
Onesimus. So one time, when I was So when I was still at campus, we had this inter-guild gathering, and it was hosted by IU main campus in Mbale. And so we went there, and when we were different guild leaders from different universities, and I was very shocked because everyone was dressed, like Muslim wear and that.
And they
I
were
was like,
tall.
you mean we don't have Christian young ladies here? You mean all universities in the country sent all their female guild leaders are Muslim? Until later, I was told that everyone, when you're entering the premises of the university,
You must
have to
dress
dress
like
like
And you don't compromise with their
and you
dress
don't
code.
compromise with it. So one time, I was visiting a female friend of mine to deliver something, and I had to talk to her from the gate. I was not allowed to go past the gate. I reached the askari, the gate. I explained. I called her. We talked from there, and I could not go past that. And I was like, if you can have such principles and guidelines enforced in such a setting,
And
how
I'll
about
tell you,
church?
What the problem
I'll tell you.
is, they're going to tell you in the Bible study, as a lady, you're supposed to dress like this, you're supposed to dress like this. And then there is this other group of old people that we have in our churches that have failed to grow. Should I say it that way?
Yeah.
They want to remain forever young. So they dress the way they want.
Be forever young.
So they still put on the skimpy skirts. You know, she's a married woman, but she comes in a dress that even me who is not married,
Wife,
I can't
certain
put
elder.
on. Yes, a wife to an elder, a wife to a pastor. And you
They
know,
have
as
money,
a youth,
they are
they have
influential,
influential.
they're untouchable.
Exactly.
And they have a defense that you should remain attractive to your husband always.
Exactly. And so this woman is going to mislead these young people that have been told, you know what, this is how you are supposed to dress when you're coming to church. So they're going to say that it is okay to dress the way you want when you come into church. Like it is okay to do something. So they compromise and they influence very many young people. So you find people saying, if I told that the pastor's wife is dressed like this, then why shouldn't I dress the same way? I think it is the right thing to do. So that is where the problem has come in our church. And they never talk about such people, by the
And
way.
so they are being the
They will
reason
see
that
Ruth's dress code as bad, and then the other person, it will be okay for them to dress like that. You know, muchala wa musumba katatoge na mugamba koti. You know, that is a pastor's kid. How are you going to start telling them that, please, you're not going to go to the pulpit because your dress is short?
And they're being the reason that younger sheep are stumbling.
Yeah. But then I want to say something about the question you asked earlier about our churches. In my view, I feel like today our church has focused more on ministry.
And it's leaving
Preach
these
here,
small
effort
things.
here, do this, outreach, this and this. But we've left these seemingly minor things
Are they actually doing
behind.
ministry? I feel like Moses are focused on development and construction. That's a topic for another time.
True.
But yeah, like I was saying, so I feel like there is doing outdoor ministry
Because I also
than indoor.
sorry for interjecting
It's okay,
so much.
it's okay.
Because I also think that ministry puts us in line.
Yeah.
You can't be going to give a Bible study and you are dressed in
Yeah,
not
which
seen it.
which is true. But then also sometimes as young people, if I'm not staying at my parents' home, I am probably at campus and we are doing ministry on campus. How come the way I am? You're not going to tell me anything. And that's why we have this whole notion of, you mean Adventists do this? Comes from, because no one is saying anything about it. So I feel like the church has focused more energy on doing the outdoor ministry than the indoor ministry. Also, the other thing is with the approach. When the elders or the leaders in church want to speak to us about how we are dressed, it's like they're crucifying us.
The
Oh, for you,
old-fashioned.
what? At a certain point when I was dressing quite indecently for church, my mom had talked about it, but I shunned her information because, anyway, I was grown. A certain elder, who is my friend, called me aside and said, Ruth, you're really smart. This outfit looks so good on you, but not for church. I think for church, we need to add some bit of length. It was the last time I dressed into something skimpy.
speaking to you with
But
grace.
yes, but my mom used to speak to me, and you know what she used to say?
Reproachingly.
Why you dressed like that? Who is seeing you?
someone seeing
me. For you don't know that there is someone seeing me. But when this elder called me aside and said, "You see, you're smart, but not for church. Maybe if you're hanging out with your friends, it could be okay, but church, no."
So do we have it out there what, dressing that way because they're being seen?
Point.
Pardon?
Yes.
Are we having it out there what, being dressed, what, dressing that way because they're seen by other people in church?
Definitely, there are people who come to church when they are looking for potential partners.
So as we're coming to
So
seek
they will
God,
dress-
you're coming to seek a partner.
So let
Kasaf Kanyama.
me speak on behalf of those young men who might also be looking for partners. We are looking for mothers of our children. We are looking for people who are going to support us spiritually. We are not looking for people who don't know how to respect the place of worship and
Actually,
I think you should be speaking for yourself. Because
Alone. Him alone.
They are young people. They are young people that come to church and really they are not after what your outward looks like.
True.
Do you have the principles? I'll tell you, there are people who are married to individuals that dress indecently for church and they've let it be. Like, mkazi wange wate bwayambala, kaste
Mwagalirayo nga
bilala,
wali.
she's good. I know a church elder whose children dress indecently for church. But he said, look, that's the work of my wife. But when I talked to my wife, she said, "Abana baleke bambale nga bwe baagala. With time they will change." But because as a man, he also wants peace in his marriage, he's not going to say anything. So there are people, like, as long as I've seen Angela, she has the other principles. That one thing, I'll let it pass. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we address this to people? If we have people in our circles that they're not perhaps dressed well, how do we talk to them and help them to become better and improve?
Well, about that issue of helping people that dress indecently, I want to use myself as an example. I personally have some clothes I used to put on when I'm going to church, but right now, I can't. And when I see someone who is dressed that way, I'm like, okay, so that is how I used to look when I'm coming to church. And what does that change about me? I cannot judge that person because I was once
you've
there.
walked those streets before.
Exactly. I know exactly what it used to feel like. And, people would speak all kinds of words. Abavubuka this, abavubuka this. And sometimes when I sit back and remember, I reflect on those days, I'm like, okay, so I can no longer put on this skirt. That means I'm transforming slowly. What does that tell us, our dear viewer? That change is gradual.
Yeah.
So this youth is not going to change in a blink of an eye. Do not expect him or her to change like one Sabbath and then the following day they come back. No. It is going to be gradual, slowly. And then the other thing, the approach. How you tell this person matters a lot. I think Ruth talked about that. How you tell this person matters a lot. But again, now we go back, please try and listen. Because if I had also not listened, I think it would not make sense. Because even when people approach us and tell you, you know what, Malaika, the way you're dressing is not right. Afterwards, we go back in our cons. I think earlier on we discussed something about gossiping. We go back in our small groups. They think they are holy. They think they started the church. I think they think they are next to God. No. When they tell you, please try and listen and adjust slowly. You know that some people, girls normally say, and
then,
But also, just a thing. This elder that talked to me about dressing, he said, as a woman, every time you're putting on something and you're tempted to pull it down, just know it is not yours. You must be comfortable in what you're wearing. But the moment you're putting on a
thank you
skirt,
for bringing that up.
and then you start pulling it down,
Like I
then
see
you're
so many young ladies.
dressed in something different.
There are these dresses that you guys do that a little bit, do I say elastic, and somehow it pulls up. I hear some young ladies going and she's struggling to pull it down.
Could be.
Why did you put it on in the first place? If you want it longer, why did you put it on in the first place and you know it's short? Now you're struggling to pull it down because you know it's
and then you know what we do when we get to church? Then you have
hanky,
now
a
you don't
scarf,
even have a hanky, you don't
or
even
scarf.
have a scarf.
Then
The
you put it
Bible,
here.
the Bible.
to cover, which is so wrong. I think as we are dressing for church, you need to put on something appropriate. I keep on telling myself, but what if Christ comes
There
back
is something
now?
I wanted to say. I don't know if I should say it.
You should. Feel free.
Am I protected?
You are
Very.
protected.
The producer will protect
There is
you.
No, very.
There is something I noticed. A very good excuse for putting on very, very short skirts and dresses.
Body
Is
soap.
putting inside the body socks. What would you say about that?
Well, about that, I personally had an encounter about that. There was this girl that was going to the pulpit. She had a very nice skirt. It had a slit in front. So she put on body socks inside. But you know those body socks, there's a way they are transparent. Like when you see it, I was going to say the color of the thigh, but
Chirekawa black thigh.
Black.
no, the brown
shines
thigh. The brown
brighter.
thigh was still missing. So when we were in the vestry, I went to see the people that are going to the pulpit. And then I saw that girl. I thought she's escorting a friend who is going to the...
Yes.
And she's like, no, I'm here. I'm looking through the scripture. So I tell her, but okay, this is a nice cut, but not for the pulpit. Just imagine you're seated in front there, like very many people out there are looking at you, and you're struggling. She's like, no, maybe should I get a scarf? Or I'll put my notebook here
She
on the
already has a
slit.
solution.
She has a solution. So that means she came when she knows. I'm not against putting on body stockings, but sometimes you find someone putting on a skirt that is too short, but they disguise the shortness of the skirt with body stockings. It is not right. And then there is this uniform that we have. What uniform is that? Is it ambassadors?
Uniforms.
Ambassadors, SYL. Like someone makes a very, very short SYL uniform. And then, no, I'll get body stockings. Do not worry. Because they have realized that your problem is exposing the thighs, right? You know, the devil is very, very, very cunning. He knows that, no, they're telling you exposing the thigh. There is something else that you can do. You can put on the body stockings. Are they going to say they're seeing my thigh? No, I have it all covered. But all that, we are trying to sugarcoat the wrong things that we do, which is
Now,
not right.
You mean God does not want us to look good?
God really wants us
If
to
you look
good.
at nature and creation, God is a God of beauty and perfection. Can we dress decently, long enough, not too tight, not skimpy and all that, and you are still smart and you are still beautiful?
Edison, God wonderfully created us. I've seen a woman who one day dressed in an indecent way. This woman was looking more of a zombie. Sorry to use that word. She
The diction
wasn't
is
beautiful. When she sat down to sit, we could look at the picture. You remember SST? A picture, something drawn from above. We could see everything drawn from above. She was busy trying to
You
pull
are playing.
a map. Oh God, it has been ages when I sing. Picture of map. Is it a map? Something seen not drawn from above.
From
And
above.
then the picture
from a side.
Now I was
Which
seeing
primary
above and aside.
How far was your primary school from
be
the main road?
You are seeing her in 3D.
But we looked at this woman and she really wasn't looking good. Now, that verse of 2 Timothy 2, 9 to 10, Paul is trying to bring that thing that women, your beauty should not come from your
Outward adornment.
and then also, it's giving us proper clothing that we should follow. That women, and also men, not even women alone, we can dress properly. When we dress properly, we bring out the image of God. I don't really see any beauty one finds in dressing poorly coming to church. One day, some elder came to our association and he told us, imagine President Museveni was going to come here today.
Would you dress like that?
Would you put on your jewelry t-shirt?
You can't.
You can't.
Actually, me, I grew up thinking that people don't put on t-shirts. It's until towards COVID that I began putting on t-shirts of GYD and PCM. I didn't know anything like t-shirts, and I'd grown up not putting on any t-shirt. And it's until I grew up, and I even made my promise that unless it's a GYD event,
PCM.
or a PCM event, I'll never put on a t-shirt at church. Never, because that's the setting I've grown up thinking that a t-shirt is for games and sports. It's for sportswear, something of the kind. Once you're coming to God, you're meeting your Creator. You're having these good suits out there. Why would you
Keeping
keep them?
for functions.
One person said, until you die, that's when they can get one good suit and dress you up in the suit, and then they bury you with the suits. Why don't I use them to come to church and dress properly for my God? Like I'm meeting my Creator to ask Him and thank Him for everything. Dress poorly. And now women, I don't know, I'll pose this to women. Women, as you're dressing, do you find pleasure in this makeup you always put on? And
Have you seen us with makeup?
No,
but by the way, there are ladies that come to church. I've always been perplexed. Dear viewer, ladies who do their nails, to start with, where do you get the money from? You're there using the Lord's money to do your nails.
Are they paying tithe?
And the envelopes.
You know when they're when I get LCB or what? You're not giving LCB, you're making nails.
And every
But
weekend.
the Bible says that we are fearfully and,
And
wonderfully
wonderfully
made.
made.
We are created in God's image. My mom used to say that now, when God created you, He saw that you were perfect.
True.
Now you're going ahead to add an extra coating on your nails. It's
And make
you're-
them a
it's-
little bit longer.
Yeah, it's like you're telling God, you didn't see this. I think I needed this to look more beautiful. You didn't see that my lips needed to be red for
And
me
lined.
to look more appealing. People have gone ahead to add, what are they called? The lash extensions.
Lash
Like
extensions.
it's like you're telling God, you didn't see this. I needed to have this
Longer
to look
lashes.
beautiful. And on top of that, they are carrying this same energy into the church space, which I think is so wrong. So it has seized, I think as young people, we have shifted our eyes from our Creator. You have one day. Now, during the week, that's on you. For him, he says, go and work. You do what you want during
Work
the
in
week.
your t-shirt.
But on the seventh day, the Sabbath, appear your best. Your very best. Because you're meeting a person that has given you all that you have. But you get to find that when they say, so and so has a wedding on Sunday, you're keeping your best dress for Sunday,
Sunday.
and you're doing the bare minimum on the Sabbath, yet you're going to meet your Creator. I think sometimes we are not honoring God that we are supposed to. That is why we do the things we do.
There is something small that I would love to say about how we dress when we're at church. I've realized that during Sabbath school, this morning session we have, we tend to compromise. Kale kasita olugoye luwanvu agende, you know. For divine, they'll be like, if you're not putting on a gomesi, togenda agenda ku kituuti. And then you find the people in Sabbath school, you think about they are just having some talk there. I went to a certain church.
Let me share. I and Onesimus were discussing off air that in most cases, these seemingly small things are always a manifestation of the bigger things people are sitting on. If people are telling you, well, nails are not good, makeup for church is not good, and you're holding on to it, and for you you're saying it's small, God sees the heart. If it's small, why are you holding on to it?
Why can't you let it go?
Why don't you let it go since it's small? You know? Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to say, this is a little bit, most of these people, and like I've said, it's already a manifestation of the bigger things they are sitting on. If you go closely to check and monitor, these are not people who have a personal walk with Jesus. They're people who come to church dressed indecently, skimpy, short, revealing, too tight, too much makeup. Their personal walk. If you investigate very well, they're not doing their Bible study, they're not praying enough, they're not walking with God.
They are focusing more on the
His word.
beauty.
They are focusing more on the outward beauty. But also at the same time, there are people who come late to church, there are people who leave early to church because perhaps they spend so much time preparing themselves and coming to church and something like
You
that.
prepare for
Yes,
6 hours.
they are
and then you
preparing
stay
for 6
3
hours, they are coming
hours.
late, they are coming past Sabbath school. You see the church is full during the divine worship, but in the morning at 8:30, song service,
empty.
the church was empty, you know. And they will be the first to leave early and something like that. They will be on their phones during worship hour. They are on their phones. They are posting, doing content in church, and they are not concentrating on the worship.
Yeah.
So even when they don't read their Bibles in the course of the week, they have come to church to feed from the Word of God, but they're not listening because they are busy. So I think it's a reflection of bigger things that we are not letting go of.
But then also, just a bit, I want to speak to our sisters that have mastered the art of dressing decently. You get my point? There are Christians out there that have mastered the art of dressing decently. Now, however much you've mastered the art of dressing decently, be smart.
Yes.
True.
Someone will put on something long, pair it with a top, like, where are you?
And they're looking disorganized.
But let me ask something, by
Because
the way.
at the end of the day, we represent the God we serve.
Exactly.
Yes, God calls us to be decent in our forms of worship, and dressing smart is part of worship. Do not just put things up together.
And that's
They
why we
said
say it's a
long
God of
things,
beauty.
then you
Yeah, we
It's a
have
God
to
of
be
beauty and
distinct, but
Yes.
not distant. Like not
Yes.
too much.
Put on something. Be
again.
smart. Like, yes, let it belong. Now, also, I think it goes down to defining what you feel comfortable in when it comes to dressing. Like, what does dressing smart look like
to you.
to you? So me, as Ruth, you will never catch me putting on those skirts that don't decide whether it is long or short. Career or halfway.
I've encountered a scenario.
Those are not my things. You will not find me putting those things on.
Yes,
But I'll make sure if I decide to put on something that is decent. Now, to me, decent amounts to something that is below the knees. It can even be slightly below the knees. Baby, I'm halfway. I can't handle.
So I want us to
So,
conclude as
define.
we share on what can be done if there's someone out there and perhaps they've been struggling with this. What words of encouragement can we give them in 30 seconds each?
Okay, about one thing I want to tell someone that is struggling with that out there, you are not too broken to be mended. Like, you can change, and it starts with you personally. Even when other people tell you all those things, but you have chosen not to change, you will not change. Decide to change your dress code because it starts with you.
I very much the Bible provides wisdom on proper dressing. People love using that quote that the Lord looks at your inward part of it than the outward. But let's learn to honor the Lord with the way we dress up. Let's learn to honor the Lord. Whatever thing we do, whether we eat or drink, whether we put on
for the glory of
clothes.
God.
Yes, let's do it for the glory of God.
As whatever you do, whether you eat or drink, or whatsoever you do,
Yeah.
do all to the glory of God. Yes, Ruth.
I think take it slow. After you've watched this show and after all is said and done, as you're doing this work, take it slow. You're not going to wake up and throw away all your clothes because we've said
It
don't
is
dress.
a long process.
Yeah.
Pray about it.
Pray about it. Ask the Lord to guide you. Discover what dressing smart and decently for church means to you. And then save up that money. Buy a dress. Start using that. Start replacing. You're not going to throw away your clothes so that you don't have anything and then you're not going to church. One day at a time.
Thank you very much. And that has been a very insightful conversation. But most importantly, like we've said earlier on the conversation, dressed how you want to be. Addressed. Yes. And we dress for the glory of God. We are not on our own. We have been called by God and chosen by Him. And so even in how we dress, we should be able to reflect Him. If you are into reading and learning, I would recommend that please go and read and feed from the Word of God. There are quite a number of injunctions there on how we can be able to dress. You will be guided very well. But also you can refer to the Spirit of Prophecy. There are some good materials. There's a book I read which quite transformed my perspective on dress. It's a book called Christian Dress and Adornment. It's by a man called Samuel Bachochi. It's a very good book. You can look for it and read it. It will really open your eyes to how you can be able to handle yourself in terms of dressing. Yeah, but most importantly, we do everything to the glory of God. And if perhaps you've been going down the road of not dressing so decently for church, it's never too late to change. You can change and you dress for the glory of God. It's been a pleasure having you on this conversation. Thank you so much for choosing the Youth Voice and for always sharing these conversations, watching and subscribing and everything that you do to support this show and this ministry. From myself and the rest of the team here at Hope Channel Uganda, see you next time.